Dolly Parton once said, "If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain." And today in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the differences between anxiety and depression, and I'll be providing practical strategies to help you find relief. I'm Sandra, and welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that helps you master your mindset so you can navigate life's difficult challenges and reach new heights. I give you easy to implement techniques which you can use to help master your life. If you get something from this episode, please share it with someone who you think would benefit from hearing it. I would also really appreciate it if you could leave me a rating or a review. So today, as I said, I'm going to be covering a topic that affects millions of people worldwide. That's anxiety and depression. And I'll be giving you ways in which you can try and find relief. So let's understand first of all, what is anxiety? It is a natural response to stress or perceived threats. Anxiety is focusing on something in the future, and it can manifest as feelings of worry, fear, or nervousness. And it can often include physical symptoms such as a racing heart, sweating, shallow breathing. About 284 million people worldwide actually suffer from anxiety disorders, and there are so many causes of anxiety. Things like genetics, brain chemistry, and life experiences. Things like that can all contribute to the development of anxiety. Stressful events or stressful perceived events such as job loss, relationship problems, or financial difficulties, they can trigger or exacerbate feelings of anxiety. As I said, anxiety, it's fear, it's worry, it's apprehension, and it's excessive worrying about future events. And the reason you get it is because you get these potential threats and uncertainties. And it will cause you to make behavioral changes such as avoiding feared situations and just compulsive behaviors. And anxiety can be episodic, or it can be triggered by specific events. And things like racing thoughts and difficulty concentrating are symptoms of it. And again, is your fight and flight or flight response. It can make all the difference, because that's how you're going to respond to the stress. As I said, anxiety is worry about future events. But then if you compare this to depression is actually a mood disorder which has been characterized by feelings of sadness, of hopelessness, of loss of interest and pleasure in activities. And it can also manifest in physical symptoms such as fatigue, such as changes in appetite or sleep patterns, and difficulty concentrating as well. The thought patterns associated with depression are mainly negative thoughts about yourself, about your past, and maybe about the future. Whereas anxiety is fully focused on what's ahead of you, depression can be focused on your current self, your past, present, or future. It can lead you with feelings of worthlessness, of guilt and self-blame. And you will end up doing things like you'll withdraw from activities, again, like anxiety, where you would avoid situations. In depression, you're going to withdraw from activities. You're going to have reduced motivation. And the duration of depression is more persistent, whereas anxiety is just episodes and can be triggered by specific events. Depression is persistent, is lasting for weeks or even longer. And it just leaves you with increased feelings of helplessness and low energy. And the causes of depression, things like, again, biological factors such as genetic and brain chemistry, again, play a significant role in the development of depression. The other reasons is traumatic life events, chronic stress, and just any unresolved emotional issues can also contribute to the onset of depression. And whilst anxiety and depression do share some common symptoms, it is essential to understand the distinction between the two conditions. Knowing the difference does matter, because when you understand whether you're experiencing anxiety or depression, it can help you then start to access the appropriate support and treatment that you need. It can give you the right tools, and then you know the right tools and the right techniques that you need to implement to help you work through it. Each condition actually may require different coping strategies and different interventions for managing these symptoms. But unless you know what one you're experiencing, that's when you're going to find yourself, you may be actually self-medicating or self-soothing, and you may not find any impact because you're not doing the right thing, because you've actually misdiagnosed yourself. As I said, depression is sadness, hopelessness, and emptiness, whereas anxiety is primary emotions are fear, worry, and apprehension. Yeah, your symptoms for anxiety are mainly like things like restlessness is for rapid heartbeat, sweating, irritability, whereas depression, persistent sadness, fatigue, loss of interest. Your thought patterns, excessive worry about the future for anxiety, whereas negative thoughts about the self, the past, and your future for depression. There are ways to separate the two. So when you start to actually think, which one am I feeling? Which one is the one that's causing me this stress at the moment? Actually take a step back and realize, are you worried about the future, or are you worried about the now, the past? Are you feeling sad, hopeless, or hopeless? Or you or you got fear, you got worry, you got apprehension? And when you actually start to take a step back and you want to find that relief, whether you're dealing with anxious thoughts or depressive feelings, there are always actionable steps that you can start to take to alleviate your symptoms and to improve your well-being. I'm not a doctor, but these are just some of the techniques that I've helped people with over the last few years. These things have helped people, my clients, actually control their symptoms a bit more. But if these don't help, then go seek medical advice. If you're handling these anxious thoughts, again, I say practice mindfulness, because and breathing exercises, so it can help calm your mind and reduce stress. It can bring you into the present. As I said, anxious thoughts about the future, it's about worrying about what's coming up. But when you ground yourself in the now, it helps calm your mind. It helps get you in the now. It helps get you to a place where you feel that things are safe. The next thing is challenge those negative thought patterns by questioning the validity. Maybe actually switch them up for some positive ones. If you're thinking always negative about the future, what's the worst that can happen? Start to question it. What's the best that could happen? You're going to a party, you're worried, oh yeah, what if I bump into this person? Negative. But actually, what happens if, oh yeah, what if I go to this party and I meet someone new? Someone who impacts my life in a positive way. Another one for anxious thoughts is to engage in physical activity such as yoga, walking, exercise, something to just get your body moving, to release those endorphins, to help release some of the tension and boost your mood. And then, as I said, if things are really bad, seek professional help from a therapist, a counsellor, someone who can provide guidance and support in managing anxiety. You don't need to do it alone. You never need to do it alone. You just need to be able to actually take that very difficult step to ask for help. And as I always say, asking for help is not a weakness. Asking for help is the strongest thing you can do, because it means you've seen where you are. You know where you want to go. You know who you want to be. And you realize that you can't do that journey alone. So you're actually doing the things, taking the step, being the person you need to be, and getting the help that you need. So with some of my clients who have had depressive thoughts, one thing that I found really useful with them was to establish a daily routine that includes activities that actually make you happy, give you a sense of purpose, actually put a smile on your face, make you feel fulfilled. The next thing is to actually connect with people around you, supportive friends and family who can encourage you, who can be there for you, who can actually offer you that companionship and give you the support you need. When you've got those people around you, those people who you can rely on, who will be there for you when you need it, it makes things a little bit easier. The third thing is practice self-care. As always, self-care is so important. Do things like journal, because when you're constantly having negative thoughts about yourself, about your past, about your future, what you can do is when you journal them down, you give yourself a different perspective. Seeing them on paper will make a whole change in the way you look at things. Spend time in nature so you can nurture your mental and your emotional well-being. Because when you're outside in nature, it helps actually calm the mind. And as I said, consider therapy or medication if it's really serious. If it's interfering with your daily functioning, go get that help. The other thing that I found helped a lot of the clients who struggled with depression was to actually learn to forgive yourself. So practice that self-care, forgive yourself, and also realize that you're not the only one going through it. When you start thinking, because one of the most common things was that each one of my clients seemed to think that they were the only one going through it. When they realized they weren't, it made a lot of difference. And the other thing for both anxiety and depression was be grateful. Find 3 things to actually be grateful for every single morning when you wake up. It will change your day because you're going to start your day in a positive way. So reflect on your own experiences with anxiety and depression, and remember you are not alone. There is always help available. So what steps can you take today to prioritize your mental health and well-being to help you change your mindset when you're stuck in those places, when you don't want to be there? You can overcome anxiety, you can overcome depression, and you can start creating a life filled with joy, with purpose and fulfillment. So remember, your mindset shapes your reality. You master it and you'll master your life. My mission is to just try and make an positive impact on this world. And I hope you can help me do this by liking this podcast, by following it, and by sharing it with others. And hopefully they can get something from it. So until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset so you can master your life. Thank you.